I took an overnight bus to make it to my cousin's wedding. I stood in the back, exhausted, waiting to greet her. When she saw me, she smirked and said loudly, "Oh, you actually came? We were betting you'd stay away." Everyone laughed. I turned and left before the cake was even cut. 2 years later, she was the one begging me to attend her baby's shower and I didn't even open the invitation. This still makes my stomach turn when I think about it. I'm not the type to hold grudges just for fun, but when someone humiliates you in front of 100 people, the kind of pain that leaves behind doesn't just fade. And when that person is family, that kind of betrayal sticks with you. My name's Danny. I was 32 when it happened. I was living in Dayton, Ohio, working 2 jobs, mornings at a coffee shop and nights cleaning offices downtown. I didn't have time for hobbies or vacations or much of a social life. Just enough to cover rent and maybe keep my car running. My cousin Mallory and I were close when we were kids. Grew up together in Columbus. Summers at grandma's house, sleepovers, birthday parties. People used to call us twins. But once we hit high school, everything changed. She became the type that needed to be seen, to be known. Homecoming queen, cheer captain, you name it. I was the quiet one. The one who stayed back. Our lives just split apart after that. She went to college down in Georgia, got into sororities, met her fiancé there. I stayed back in Ohio and took whatever job I could get after high school. No hate. Just different paths. We still followed each other on social media, but I noticed over the years, she only messaged me when she needed something. A resume review. A $40 Venmo for some emergency. Help moving out of a dorm. I never said no. I thought maybe that meant something to her. So when she got engaged, I thought maybe I'd at least get a personal call. Hey Danny, I'm getting married, or something. But no. She posted it on Instagram first. I found out when my aunt tagged me in a comment. 2 weeks later, a wedding invite came in the mail. No personal note, just a regular card with my name spelled Danny in messy handwriting. Still, I told myself, it's not about me. It's her day. Just show up. The wedding was in Nashville. She'd moved there with her fiancé the year before. I couldn't afford a plane ticket or a hotel. I took an overnight Greyhound from Dayton. Left Friday night, got there Saturday morning, stiff and barely able to keep my eyes open. I washed up in a public restroom, changed in a stall, and pulled my dress out of a garbage bag I'd tied shut to keep it clean. I showed up at the venue 10 minutes before the ceremony started. I didn't want to bother anyone. I sat in the back row, quiet, trying to stay awake. It was a nice place, rustic barn style, wood beams, twinkle lights, white flowers. All of it looked like something from one of her Pinterest boards. After the ceremony, people moved to the reception area. I stood in the back, near the drink table, holding a small gift bag with a candle and a card inside. I didn't wrap it fancy, just tissue paper and a ribbon. I waited for a chance to walk up and say hi. Eventually, Mallory saw me. She was laughing with her bridesmaids. The second she made eye contact, her smile turned into something else. Something fake. She said, loud enough for half the room to hear, "My God, you actually came? We were literally betting you'd stay away." Her friends cracked up. One of the groomsmen said, "Who won?" She raised her hand like she was proud of herself. "Me, of course." I said she might show out of guilt. I didn't say a word. I just stood there, in a $30 Marshall's dress, with blistered feet from walking 4 blocks in cheap flats, holding a damn candle and a note that said, "Proud of you." She didn't hug me. Didn't thank me. Didn't even say hello. I set the gift bag on the table near the guest book, turned around, and walked out. I didn't wait for dinner. I didn't get a slice of cake. I walked until I found a gas station, bought a bottle of water, and sat on the curb behind it for 2 hours before my friend picked me up. Mallory never followed up. Not a text. Not a message. Nothing. 2 years passed. I moved to Cleveland. Got a better job at a medical billing firm, one that gave me health insurance and paid time off. Took a few online classes. I finally got my own place, not big, but clean. I stopped checking her Instagram. I muted her stories. I didn't block her. Just erased her from my day-to-day. Then one day, out of nowhere, a pink envelope shows up in my mailbox. It was one of those glittery baby shower invites. The front had cartoon elephants on it. Inside was a handwritten note. Danny, I know we haven't talked in a while. I miss you. I really hope you'll come. It would mean a lot. Love, Mal. I sat there holding it for a long time. The handwriting was familiar. Same loops and swirls. Same little heart over the I. For a second, I thought about going. Just to see what she'd say. To show her I was still standing. But then I remembered standing in that wedding hall, surrounded by laughter that was aimed at me. I didn't RSVP. I didn't text. I didn't call. The day of the shower, I stayed home. I read a book. I made coffee. I walked through a park and smiled at strangers. It was the best day I'd had in weeks. Later that night, I got a text. Hey, just wanted to say I was really hoping you'd be there. I miss you. I'm sorry if I ever made you feel unwanted. Hope you're doing okay. I left it on read. Sometimes revenge isn't fireworks. It's the silence someone hears when they finally realize what they lost. I thought that would be the end of it. She sent the text, I ignored it, and we'd go back to being nothing to each other. But life doesn't always let you walk away clean. 3 weeks after the baby shower, I got a phone call at work. I don't usually answer unknown numbers, but something made me pick it up. Maybe I was curious. Maybe I just wanted to hear the voice on the other end so I could decide to hang up on it. Danny? It was Mallory's mom, my Aunt Sharon. Her voice was shaky. I'm sorry to bother you at work. I think you should know what's going on. She didn't wait for me to say anything. Mallory had gone into labor early. 7 weeks early. The baby wasn't breathing at first, and they had to rush her into NICU. Mallory had lost a lot of blood. There were complications. She was okay, but barely. And she was asking for me. She keeps saying your name, Aunt Sharon said. I don't know, Danny. She's scared. I think she knows she messed up. Can you come? I sat there with my headset halfway off, just listening to that static silence on the other end of the call. I told her I'd think about it and hung up. I didn't go. Not that day. Not the next day either. I needed time. Time to decide if I was just angry, or if I was truly done. Then something strange happened. I started getting texts. Not just from Mallory, but from people I hadn't heard from in years. Old cousins. A few mutual friends. Her husband. Hey, I know things weren't perfect between you two, but she's been through a lot. She's in the hospital, Danny. Don't hold a grudge forever. She's changed. You don't know what she's been through. It was like I was the villain now, like I was heartless for not running to her bedside the moment things got hard for her. But where were they when she humiliated me? When I stood alone in the back of her wedding, hoping for a sliver of warmth? One of the texts that hit me hardest came from her husband, Noah. He wrote, "You don't know the full story. Mallory's been carrying a lot of guilt. She told me everything. About how she treated you. About the jokes. She thought she was being funny. She realizes now she wasn't. Please. Just visit her. For closure if nothing else." Closure. That word stuck with me. So I did go. But not right away. Not until the 4th day after her labor. I waited until visiting hours were nearly over, and then I walked into that hospital with no flowers, no card, just a hard knot in my stomach and 1,000 old memories banging around in my chest. Mallory was pale, lying in bed, hooked up to IVs. Her hair was messy, eyes swollen. But she smiled when she saw me. "You came," she whispered, like it meant everything. I didn't sit. I didn't smile. I just said, "Why now?" She swallowed hard. "Because I thought I had more time. And when I thought I was dying, I kept thinking about that day. The look on your face when I laughed. I thought I was being cool. That I was surrounded by people who mattered. But none of them stayed. Not like you did." "I didn't stay," I said. "I know. That's why it hurt. We didn't hug." There was no dramatic forgiveness moment. Just silence, thick and weird. She started to cry, but I couldn't match it. My anger had dried out. I wasn't there for her. I was there for me to see if her guilt was real. It was. Before I left, she asked me one thing: "Would you come to see the baby?" Just once. I thought about it. I really did. But I said no. I turned and walked out. And that's when I knew this wasn't just about a wedding. Or a baby. Or family. It was about finally seeing the truth. Some people only learn to value you when they're desperate. And by then, it's already too late. 2 months passed. I didn't hear from Mallory again after that hospital visit. No texts. No calls. I figured that was it. She said her piece, I said mine, and now we'd go our separate ways for good. I had just started to relax when a letter came in the mail. Not a card. Not a text. A full letter, handwritten on lined paper, folded into an envelope with my name in big letters across the front. No return address. Inside were 5 pages. Mallory's handwriting was messier now, shakier. It started with an apology, not the generic, "I'm sorry if you were hurt" kind. This time it was detailed. She listed everything, like she'd been holding it in for years. "I mocked you at the wedding because I was insecure. I knew you took the bus. Aunt Sharon told me. I still made that joke. I thought laughing at you would make the others like me more." She didn't sugarcoat it. Then came the twist. She wrote, "I haven't told anyone this part. I wasn't supposed to say anything, but I need to. You deserve the truth. The reason I really wanted you at the baby shower wasn't just guilt. It's because I found out the baby might be sick. And you're the only blood relative who could be a genetic match." I read that sentence 3 times before it really landed. She wasn't just reaching out for forgiveness. She was reaching out for help. Mallory went on to explain that her daughter, Sophie, had been diagnosed with a rare immune disorder. There was a chance it could be treated with a stem cell transplant, but they needed to find a compatible family member. Her husband wasn't a match. Her parents weren't either. The doctors said a cousin might work, but only if they were closely related. I sat there at my kitchen table, reading her words, my hands going cold. She wrote, "I didn't know how to ask you. I was scared you'd say no. I still am. But if there's any chance, please. Just test. You don't even have to see me. Just the test." I didn't know what to feel. Part of me wanted to tear the letter in half. Another part of me wanted to scream. And a small, quiet part of me, the part one thought I'd buried, remembered being kids again. Summers in the backyard. Sharing popsicles. Holding hands when thunderstorms scared us. I didn't respond right away. I sat on that letter for a week. Then, one morning, I went to the clinic listed on the form she'd sent. I gave blood. They said they'd call if I was a match. 2 weeks later, they called. I was. Now the question wasn't just whether I could help. It was whether I would. When the clinic told me I was a match, I didn't answer right away. I said I needed time. That night, I sat in bed staring at the ceiling. Part of me felt sick. Not because I didn't want to help a child, especially not one who had no say in how she got here, but because it was all so twisted. Mallory wanted me to save her daughter. After using me. After humiliating me. After only remembering I existed when her world was on fire. I wasn't God. I wasn't a hero. I was just tired. Tired of being the one who always swallowed the pain while everyone else moved on like nothing happened. I didn't tell anyone about the match. I didn't even tell my mom. A week passed. Then Mallory called. First time in years. I stared at her name on my screen for a long time. Then I answered. Hello? She didn't speak at first. Just breathing. Then a whisper, did you get the results? Yeah, I said flatly. Silence. Can you help her? She asked, barely holding it together. I can. She let out this shaky breath like she'd been underwater. But I wasn't done. I can, I repeated. But I won't. I waited for the yelling. The begging. It didn't come. Just silence. She finally asked, why? You used me, Mallory. My whole life, you used me. Then you laughed at me in front of 100 people who didn't even know me. You turned me into a joke. You never said sorry until life smacked you in the face. And now, you want me to give you something again. But it's not for me, she whispered. It's for Sophie. I know. And that's the part that hurts the most. I hung up. That was the last time I ever spoke to her. 2 months later, I heard through family that Mallory had found a partial match through a donor list. Sophie would live, but it wouldn't be easy. The treatment would be longer. Harder. Riskier. People started talking. Some said I was cruel. Others said I did the right thing. I stopped caring. I'd always been the quiet one. The helper. The good cousin, who showed up, did what was asked, and walked away with nothing. But not anymore. This time, I let her feel what it's like to need someone and be left standing there, waiting. Just like I did. At her wedding. With that damn candle in my hand.